Okay, so welcome to the India market review for 26 June 2015. This is Dr. Musa speaking from the Bangalore Investors Club. So we'll jump into the activities of the month, or rather of the week. So we had Greece, whose news is going all over the place. I really don't know whether they're going to be uh, you know, paying up their dues, or they're going to default. I think they have some 48 hours to uh, decide on whether they want to meet the conditions. So that is something that is still in the making, but looks like there's really nothing to that now. Maybe the things have been factored in. And the other thing is, I mean, really maybe a sort of surprise that nobody in India is, or the world seems to be not bothered about it, and that is Shanghai. So let me just put that up. This is another software that we are using, which is called Investor. Just so in that we have okay, so there's something amiss with this, I think. Yeah, okay, so just let's stop this, but okay, something, data is not updated properly there. I don't have the Shanghai index here, but basically that's fallen some 7% and things like that. In the fall in China doesn't seem to be bothering anybody actually, so wondering what is going on. So, but anyhow, and then we have of course news like this, that Tsipras cites blackmail in Greek talks, and that is on Bloomberg right now, so we don't know how that will go and whether they are going to move out. So I think uh, it's going to be really interesting um, uh, which way the markets move next week. Expiry just happened yesterday with uh, the market closing at 8415, right? And that's around 8,000, sorry, yeah, 8398, sorry. And that's just 2 points away from the 8,400 option pain that was the data that we had got about a week earlier. So this option pain business seems to be turning out quite well. It's turned out quite successful for us in the last several expiries. Apart from that, there is of course the monsoon session. Okay, so China markets falling, and in India we have the BJP's credibility, and more so the PM's credibility, taking a hit with the silence on the Lalit Modi affair, and where does all this fall into place, and whether the monsoon session now is going to be something which is going to be really productive, or are we going to see a lot of politicking and we are not going to actually make much headway with perhaps you know um, uh, what with the monsoon, and then reforms get slowed down, and well, there's really nothing else that there is there, right? Okay. Uh, so apart from that, there's really nothing much. The monsoon seemed to be pretty much okay. We've got quite a lot of floods actually all over the place, right? So looks like the Met Department's thing about it could be a subpar monsoon so far doesn't seem to have played out very well, right? Okay, and so what we have is I think really no triggers for the market to go up, and maybe more triggers for the market to actually go down. You've got this. I don't have the histogram data today this time about the fundamental analysis, but the markets are slightly on the expensive side fundamentally. So the theme of the session today was are we making a life high if we go past as we have been in the last 2 weeks, or are we looking at a double top if we go higher? So if you look at the weekly chart, the markets, so I hope you can see the head and shoulder pattern that we had talked about earlier. That was the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We had a breakdown, a test of that neckline, and then we are back to where that neckline actually is again. And at 8,500, we could be very close to that neckline again. So of course, another about 120 points up from where we are, then we are exactly at that neckline. And what's very interesting is that 8,500 is also a basically decent uh, what do you say, um, resistance level. Is a life high there was support there. So 8,500 would be the next big, I think, resistance, which is to be looked at. And I would say that only if we can cross 8,500, then we should look at any fresh long positions. Otherwise, that might actually turn out to be a good profit-taking area. On the indicators, while there is some strength which is there at this point on the weekly chart, the indicators I don't think are showing any great strength at all. The MACD itself is basing out, and if it does, then okay, good. It's a place where a crossover needs to happen, but we'll just have to wait for that at this point, right? Okay. So coming to the individual sector, so basically 8,500 is the next resistance point on the Nifty, and anything after that would be the fresh buy. No shorts on the Nifty at this point. Let it go to 8,500, and then maybe that might be a place of shorting in case uh, it doesn't move back down, right? Sorry, it doesn't. If that resistance holds at 8,500. So let's quickly go through the sector indices now. You've got the Bank Nifty, and what you've got on the Bank Nifty is the bounce from an important support level of around 17,500, and this could be a flag, right? So even on the Nifty, you can't rule out that this is some sort of a flag in the market. In which case you're looking at maybe another 1,000 point up move to from 18,500 to 19,500. So that is something that cannot be ruled out. We'll have to wait and watch and see how that pans out. On the other hand, in case the market, so at least on the Bank Nifty, you've got some good supports at the lower level of around 18,000, 18,200. You can also see that today there was a lower shadow which was there, right? Uh, so all right, so the Bank Nifty could be on a flag, so could the Nifty be, but the Nifty 8,500 is a resistance, 18,900 resistance on the Bank Nifty, and then maybe 19,500 is a next level to watch out for. Interesting, by the way, RBI's chairman or governor Raghuram Rajan said something today about we could be looking like a Great Depression type scenario in the next few months and years. That's really interesting. Don't know what that could mean. It might be interesting to go back and look at the 1929-1934 period in the Dow Jones Index to see how that behaved. Certainly, with all the money printing and the debt that the world has taken on, it really be interesting to see how that's going to pan out. And Greek might just be the tip of the iceberg for the rest of the world. Okay, so looking at sector indices. So this is interesting. BSE Auto has broken out through that downtrend line. Nice 2-week up move, and looks like we're going to see a lot of similar patterns across the board. And has reclaimed its 18,600, 18,700 support level. All right, so that is definitely positive, and that means it could have definitely more potential on the upside. So look at consumer durables. All right, so this is interesting, almost close to its life high, a place that we should definitely be paying more attention to. Um, then we have capital goods. So capital goods broke out from this level uh, early this year, went up, came down, tested it, and the question is whether they're going back to test their life high levels in the next, who knows, 2-3 months maybe, right? All depends on the recovery of the markets. L&T, for example, has been getting quite a bit of orders and all. Um, so if L&T is starting to get more orders, definitely a good sign, because L&T being the behemoth it is, um, perhaps is indicating that um, there's some sort of a recovery going on, but that's just a broad anecdotal piece of news. But yes, this is definitely looking bullish. BSE FMCG index, well, interesting. So this, if I were to actually just pull this straight without any change in adjustment of the line, you can see how beautifully that line was tested with that upper shadow 3 days back, and we have a evening star which has formed there. Doesn't look like it'll go down very much, so we'll just have to wait and watch. But yes, it is possible that I mean, at least this is something you would not want to buy into, and this is why it's so important to be on the larger side of on the side of the bigger trend. The bigger trend is down, lower tops, lower bottoms, and we need to just keep track of that. So it is no buying on FMCG. All the other indices so far seem quite nice. Healthcare, okay, broke the trend line, but somehow not looking convincing to me in the way it's getting spinning tops, dojis in the last 2, 3, 4 sessions, and I would just probably stay away from healthcare at this point. Okay. Um, you have IT. We'll look at the CNX IT instead. So VSC metals. So if we look at okay, so this is the BSE metal index on a weekly format, and what you can see is that the MACD has done a crossover. None of the other indicators have actually given strength. Can't say this is the best time to buy. However, um, there seems to be some sort of a strong uh, support in the metal side at this point. Uh, I think on dips, for those of us who are aggressive people, would consider buying it. I wouldn't be an aggressive buyer at this point, but maybe buying it at lower um, prices, and this has to really take a call as to what it wants to do. So we've got a sort of double bottom at 9,250, and that trend line either has to break out in the next maybe 2 months, or this support line has to break down. It's unlikely to continue like this forever, and this could be the start. If it breaks out, this could be the
Oh,
start
sure.
of.
Use
Hello.
me, Musha.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like there was a glitch in the screen that was shared. I think you saw some billionaire article first, and now you should be able to see the screen. So if you're watching the recording, then you would need to keep your charts open in order to know what we were discussing. Right, anyhow, so in the interest of time, I'm not going to go back. I'm just going to go forward. Uh, so what we have here, like I was saying on the metals, is that the the trend is down and we have a double bottom here, and we need to look at some point in the next 2 months, this is going to either break down or this is going to break out, and that will be a decisive moment, I think, for the metal pack, because it could, if it breaks down, might go a lot further, but there is good support at 8,750. But on the other hand, if it breaks out of this downtrend line, it could be the start of a fresh uptrend in the metal stocks, right? Okay, so that's a place to watch if you're looking at potential long-term investments. Then let's look at BSE Power. Okay, so the BSE Power Index has been basically going sideways from June of last year. Really nothing much to it. So 1 year of sideways move and some really good support at the 1950 level, a triple bottom of the last from October to now, and is probably broke, not probably, definitely broken that downtrend line. The question is whether this is setting itself up for a new uptrend. We'll have to, little too early. If you are one of those aggressive investors, then this could be a place to actually buy into. Good support with a stop loss below 1950 on the index. Unfortunately, the index itself can't be bought, but it will be much safer, I think, to wait till it goes above these moving average clusters here, and then there should be a much higher probability of the market going up. It's always the chicken and egg problem. Do you want to buy now and have a lower reward risk, or a rather higher reward risk ratio, or do you wait for higher probability, in which case you sacrifice your reward and increase your possible risk, right? Unfortunately, there is no easy way out of that. Okay. All right. So this is definitely some place one could look at. PSU index. Hmm. So a lot of indices either broken out of their resist downtrend lines or looking at, just being there. Of course, BSC FMCG actually uh, didn't do very well. It's turned down. BSC Realty Index, so that has actually been on a nice up move since last 1 week. So you had a big move on Monday, a sort of flag, and then a move attempt to move up again, but really nothing has happened. So hmm, could be a very un what do you say, not a classical head and shoulder bottom, which is there. You have the big left shoulder here, okay, big head and a right shoulder that could be in the um, uh, formation, and in case that breaks out, then, but you know what, this is like been going on since 2012, really no hurry, so we're looking at the reality. But having said that, that is like a life low at this point, and mm, could be a good place for support in case you are one of those contrarian. investors, right? Okay. Mm, all right. So coming to the NSE side of the sector indices or thematic. So you've got right now one of the things that I'm looking at closely, which is the CNX energy. And as you can see, you've got left shoulder complex, head, right shoulder, that's the neckline. And that did break out last week, and you have a sort of test, and it's like firmly above that, and very unlikely in my opinion to actually move beyond. So there's a measuring implication here which is from about 8,800 to 8,200 to be or 300 to be a little conservative. So we're talking about a 500 point move from 8,800 plus 500 is 9,300. So 9,300 is there. Okay, and as you can see, nice support here, cluster of sort of market activity there, and this is the next level to watch out for. So CNX energy stocks are something we can uh, consider going forward. Okay, okay, CNX FMCG, just a duplicate of BSE FMCG, really no difference. Then we have CNX infrastructure index. Okay, the only issue with these, some of these CNX indices are they're only from 2010, so they don't have the 2008 peak which was there, and therefore you can be quite deceptive in terms of what you're looking at, right? Okay. Um Till the infra index is able to break out of 3,400, it's going to be really tough to see what will happen next. So it's just better to wait and watch. Uh, but the thing is, if it can, it does break out, then going back to the life high of 3,800 will happen quite quickly, in my opinion. And at least as far as this index is concerned, it's blue sky area after that. CNXIT. So CNXIT, nice double bottom at 11,000. A breakout of that downtrend line, and okay, so it's made a fresh life high after 2000, after 15 good years, 1.5 decades. Just wondering whether this could be a good buying opportunity or not. I'm not sure about that. Well, technically good support at 10,950, and if 10,950 breaks, then that would be a disaster. But I think looks like it's going to hold out right now. Let me look at weekly charts. Okay, so I like to see personally some sort of MACD strength in the weekly charts before I venture to go long on it. And right now there's not much of a it is MACD is becoming less down, and it could be basing out, but maybe another couple of weeks. The only problem with something like that is if you're looking for short-term trades, then it's really tough to uh, say what this will do, especially when it's at this trend lines. Will it break support or will it break resistance? It's one of those times when it's just best to do nothing with the sector or the stocks. Okay, then we have Nifty Junior. So the Nifty Junior moved up, came to it's basically come back to its close to its life high cluster. So you know what? There's definitely more strength in the mid cap stocks than there is in the Nifty stocks. The Nifty is what? 8,400, the life high is 9,000, so it's 600 points, almost 8% below. But the Nifty Junior is almost at its life high. For all practical purpose, I would say it is at its life high. You discount that peak of 20,500, which brings up a very interesting thing, which is will the mid cap stocks now? Actually, this is something very interesting time to watch day by day. The mid cap stocks clearly have more strength than the Nifty stocks, and if the CNX Nifty Junior were to not go up from here, that might give us an indication of the weakness in the market. On the other hand, if the Nifty Junior does go up from here, then you might say that it's quite possible that this rally is going to continue, and the Nifty will perhaps get pulled up with that. So this is where we talk about looking at different indices at the same time, and to see whether what do you say, one index is in line with the other, or there's a divergence. So right now, no divergence. We are looking at you know or there is no divergence in terms of both the Nifty and the Nifty Junior have gone up, but there is a divergence in terms of how much they have gone up. So the Nifty Junior has come back to its life high, but not the Nifty itself. So this is something which is interesting, like I said, and this relationship will be interesting to follow up to give us a sign of how the strength might be in the coming weeks, and maybe in the next at least 1 or 2 months. Having said that, you probably find better buying opportunities in the Nifty Junior stocks and not so much in the Nifty stocks, right? So I don't know, maybe we should do the Nifty Junior stocks today. We haven't seen them for a very long time actually. Okay, CNX Pharma, so that's also broken out of the downtrend. Really nothing else. I think PSU banks firmly down. So very interesting. So PSU banks, in spite of their recent rallies, no strength at all. But the bank Nifty, if you remember, was definitely showing more strength, right? So uh, it would have been nice if we had a index separately for only private banks. Would have given us such a nice picture of how the private banks are doing versus the PSU banks. But yeah, the PSU banks should not be bought at this point, no matter how convincing the story might be. The trend is clearly negative. Okay. Okay, CNX Realty, something we. All right, so BSC Realty almost at its life low. CNX Realty not very far from that. If you look at it in the uh, weekly format, then this was it's a little clearer. 185 good support has broken out of that. 150, which is about 15% lower from here, has been the life low. The thing is, this will probably require immense amount of patience to actually um, what do you say, mm, if you're buying into these, for these to actually recover, right? Okay, so is Dolex. Okay, so essentially we've done all the indices. So just closing the screen with NSE 50 again, and just bringing us back to the point that if you looked at the CNX Nifty Junior, let me just open that in a separate window. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So on the right you have the Nifty, and on the left you have the Nifty Junior. So I hope you can see the difference very clearly. Okay, so more similar pattern, but the extent to which the Nifty Junior is close to its life high and the way Nifty is not so close to its life high is the relationship that I'm talking about. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's take a two-person poll in terms of shall we look at Nifty Junior stocks or shall we look at Nifty stocks? What do you like? All right, so we're going to look at the Nifty Junior stocks in this IMR. I think we've not seen them for several, maybe 2-3 months now. Really unfortunate because sometimes we really get some good opportunities in this. So first on the list, alphabetical wise, is Aditya Birla Nuvo, and we have that one was in a trend since last 2012, kept going up, and then now it's come to that 1800 mark, not on such great volumes, and it's been sort of going sideways since May, June. Uh, I would say it's best to wait and watch and buy it only after it breaks 1800. Otherwise, one second. So you had some event happened in the first week of May, and there's a gap here, I think. So big volumes. This is just consolidating after that, and one can expect this to break out on the basis of this big volume. And you can see that the volume has again picked up in the last 2-3 days. Uh, could buy this with a stop loss below 17,171,412, and or buy it as soon as it breaks out above 1800 for the first target at around I would say 1860, and then after it clears that it could easily go to I think 1950, right? In a sense, the stock has actually been consolidating this whole of this year, not really done much and gone more or less sideways. So I think it might be setting itself up for the next move. Okay, then we have Adani Ports. Okay, so on Adani Ports, can you hear me clearly? Just to confirm. Okay, so next we're looking at Adani Ports, and that's again, what's happened with Adani Ports is you had a previous life high of 262. You can see that it broke that in the middle of 2014. Went into a sideways zone for about 6 months, and from 260 went to 300, and then from that went to 350 and has been in a rectangle ever since then. And this is just a question of, I think, breaking out, and whenever it breaks out you're going to see a move. However, it's interesting to see that while you have very little volume in September to now, you had some big down volume about 3 weeks back, early June. So I'm wondering whether this
Excuse
has
me.
yeah.
Excuse me, Musha. This is Kundu. Actually, you cannot see the chart. It is
I
showing
don't
any
know
chart?
what. Yeah.
Yeah, now you can see that. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
fine. Okay, thank you. All right. So you should be able to see the Adani Ports chart. And like I was saying, gone sideways since 2015 beginning. So 6 months of a sideways move, and a breakdown or a breakout of this will probably take it $50 up or $50 down. So either back down to 260, or if it 350 breaks, then up to 400. So for stuff like this, basically you need to keep alerts, and if otherwise you need to just keep watching it every day and then take a call, right? So that is Adani Ports. Next is on our NSE list would be Apollo Hospitals. Okay, so Apollo Hospitals, wow. Okay, this is why I keep saying I always regret not looking at Nifty Junior stocks. So you can clearly see Apollo Hospitals is in a nice uptrend. Let's go weekly, and it'll be tough to find stocks like this. So since 2010, when the stock was 260, it is now almost 1,500 rupees, right? And at least as of now, I don't think any sign of it getting tired. There is definitely some resistance there at around 1450. Okay, so that is the life high. Mm, however, I'm just one sec, just give me a minute. Volumes are becoming a little iffy, and in the recent past, the down volume I would say has actually increased. So I think a bit of caution is advised, and this is a sort of rounding top which broke down. You had some news, I would guess, here, or some event here that made it crack. And any buy on Apollo Hospital should be only above 1450, 1500. Otherwise, yeah, best to stay away from it. All right. Okay. Next is Oro Pharma. All right. So this has been making a new life high, as we can see. I'll just make that blue for future reference, and we have a new life high there. Okay. Interesting. So you had good volumes. Which day was this of good volumes? Alright, so you had good volumes 3 days back, followed by again volumes day before yesterday, and might have been on market of because of expiry, or this could be because of just profit taking. But looks like this is headed higher and could be a buying candidate at some lower levels. So 1300. Yeah, 1500 and higher, I think, is definitely a possibility on this. Right? Okay. That yellow line I put would be my stop loss for now. So this is not a stock which has a. The problem with stocks like this, which are rather stocks, any stock at life high, is you tend to get a big stop loss, but you're not sure where the target is. It could really go much higher if things go well, but it might, on the other hand, just turn down. So that's a little bit of a dilemma there. 1500 psychological mark, that's the one to watch out for. But I would say that any correction on this up to 1300, you should look at buying Oro Pharma, and then just be patient. Again, in a sense, sideways move for 3 months, and then you just have to wait till it moves. Looks like it's setting itself for a breakout to go to higher levels, in my opinion. Okay. Next, Bajaj Financial Services. So Bajaj Financial Services, right? Ha! Another stock at its life high. Okay, this is going to be another bad IMR, and I mean that in a good way. We'll just keep wondering why we don't do this more often. I think that is a better trend line. Okay, that is the life high. Okay, volumes are little erratic, or not little, quite erratic, as you can see. I would think that looks like this company is coming out with some sort of good results every quarter, and that's why you're seeing this jump in volumes which is there. However, I think right now from 2015 beginning onwards, you've got this 1550 as a double top, and you should really wait The two options are wait till maybe it comes down to around 1450 levels, or only buy it if it goes beyond 1575. I think there's really no other uh, that resistance is a pretty strong resistance in my opinion, so wait for it to break out. Otherwise, buying it like right now is taking on very high risk. Look at Bajaj Holdings. How do you spell that? Bajaj HL. Right. This is a stock you might want to pick up, who knows, on Monday. Some rush of activity here, gone up from 1300 to 1450. Again, one of the stock at its life high. Okay, so this was the 2006-7 peak. Clearly broke through that effectively, and just kept going up and up and up. Very unusual to give this sort of rounding top, in my opinion. Usually such rounding tops would normally break down. This actually did not break down. It actually, went up, and you have a neckline here, I would say, which did not break, which is very, very unusual actually. And if it actually, since it holds, it actually is a sign of strength, and that strength came up especially today and also in mid-May, with a lot of buying at around the 1300 mark. Very unusual MACD line also, just one straight arrow like line going up. And I would say that this is headed for higher levels. You can put a stop loss below 1400. Actually, this is going to be a tough one. Any stop loss you put on this, you could be wrong. And 1400 could be a good, actually all the way till 1350 would be a good support. And it's just, actually we found a lot of stocks, not found, seen a lot of stocks which are around the 1500 mark. And this is what typically tends to happen when you come to important psychological levels. So in a sense, this is a sideways move now from June to June. So it's a 1 year consolidation that is happening of about 200 rupees width. And I think next week it's clearly going to break out. And I would put a target of about 1650 to 1700. It could take 2 months, but that's fine. But that is what I would look at. Okay, then we have next is Bank of India. Why is this daily? So we remember PSU Bank index was really weak, and I would definitely not want to be buying this. Look at that today also, red candle. Nothing to really look at any strength. As a matter of fact, if the markets were turning weak, then this would be the sort of stocks you want to short. Okay, and you can see 170 is good support, right? So support zone at around 170, and it will be, if 170 were to break, then easily even 130, 140 could be distinct possibilities. But it has actually come down quite a lot from 300 to 200. That's a what 30% cut, which has happened in just 2-3 months. Okay, all right. So even the news about the government of India infusing money into public sector banks, nothing seems to have cheered this one up at least. And I would say, oh, this is very interesting. If this breaks, you're talking about a multi-year breakdown on Bank of India, and I would just put this on our first list of stocks to short in case the market turns down. A target of 137 with the price now of 177, that's 40 rupees down, could be a really, really big, good short to short if the market turns weak. Okay, Bharat Forge, so that's at its life high and really done nothing. Why do we have so many lines here? Not sure where all these came from. Okay, and yeah, we'll remove them. Okay, so I have the stocks here at around 1100 and 1100 to 1300, so that's a 200 rupee move that could happen, but I think I would stay away from it right now. There's one person in our mentorship program, Bobby, who would have a very bullish view in the long term about forging companies, but I would rather stay away from them, right? At least from Bharat Forge, given the sort of rounding top it has, and that's the neckline also at 1082, and if that breaks, let's say it's just to be rounded off 1100, you could drop by 200 rupees. That would be the measuring implication. So a drop from this would take it to about 100, 111. It would take it to 900 rupees, which is around these levels. So okay, so there is a cluster of support resistances there. I'll just leave that line there for future reference. So if this breaks, and there's a 200-day moving average here, if that breaks, then 900 is distinctly possible. So another stock apart from Bank of India as a potential. Uh, Let me just Bank of India, Bharat Forge, shorting candidates. Okay. Then we have Britannia. So, huh, I make biscuits and look at the stock just go up. And God knows when I looked at this last. This is really horrible. So stock has just been rallying, 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 and looks like well, no mood for it to actually get. I think stop here. 3000 would be the next stop in my opinion, and then okay, this is interesting. Volumes have tapered off as we are going higher, so not a good sign. Is that uptrend getting weaker is the question. You can see for the last 3 weeks the volume have been getting iffy. However, all your indicators are showing a lot of strength still, and the whole up move has been on really good volumes. Any correction is when Britannia should be bought, in my opinion. Right now, the chart's looking shaky, right? And I could, of course, entirely be wrong. Uh, we saw a lot of stocks earlier which had consolidated, so I just want to point out what can happen. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 month consolidation on Britannia, and you can see that once it started taking off, 1000 has become 3000 from the middle of last year. That's just an amazing journey, right? So you could get something like that. Who knows? Um, wow. Okay. Okay. What I was saying is that this is a stock should. I didn't say that. I'm saying it. Would definitely not be shorted and should be on the watch list in case it corrects, because it will correct at some point. The only question is when, right? Okay. Next, Can Bank. So forget it. We looked at Bank of India already and we said it's weak. Not a surprise. Oh, there's a gap down also. Big gap down. Is it? Nope. Something, whatever it is, there's something in the PSU space with something happening. You have this move down. This is not healthy at all. Are we looking at this? Okay. So please note, very important multi-year support here, right from 2006. And if that breaks, then really going to be tough to say where it could stop. A lot of support zones below, but looks like 250. So that is from 287, 290, 250, about 30-40 rupees. It's definitely a worthwhile shot. And I think, well, would be surprised if it goes below 200. There was a news item, by the way, about some, I'm not sure if I remember the numbers right, 57 or 87,000 crores of bad loans which are there on the public sector banks. And what's the government going to do about it? And with the recovery taking time, this is definitely not a um, happy time fundamentally for these banks. Okay, if you're holding any of these, well, you should definitely not be buying them. So you should sell them and wait for, put your money in some other place. Okay, then Colgate Palmolive, another stock which is just going up and up and up and up and up. As you can see, this amazing move over the last several years. So in 2009, this stock was 414. It is now 2010. Wow. Okay. Well, at this point, looks like 2000 has become some sort of a strong resistance, and I would say just leave Colgate Palmolive here for some time and let it consolidate its gains, digest its gains, and then we can maybe go back to it. So, hmm, okay. Again, you want to maybe find stocks like this 2 years consolidation. Of course, you don't know when they'll break out, but when they do, this is what I'm saying. You can sometimes get multi-year, multi-bagger returns on that. And there are a lot of stocks we've seen, few stocks in the beginning which are consolidating for 6 months at least, and those are the ones you may want to watch for eventual breakouts, right? Okay, next, Container Corporation. All right, so as you can see, 1750, 1800 has become a resistance. It's just doing a sort of rounding top there, and therefore really nothing much to do here except wait and see what it does. Not a stock that you could take a call on at this point. Okay, so we'll move on. Crompton Greaves has been making some moves. All right. Okay. So which stock was that? Let me just go back. I think that was Britannia, right? Uh, yeah. So why I came to Britannia is you remember this move like this, right? You had this up move 2013, a nice up move, almost 45-degree angle, then it goes sideways, and then it just shoots off onto the right. I'm not saying obviously I can't say that is what is going to happen with Crompton Greaves, but can you notice the similarity in the pattern? Right, you have a big almost 45-degree move, you have a sideways correction. Hopefully that move is on up move is on good volumes. Yeah, okay, not great, but fine. And this is definitely consolidating now, in my opinion. And while one can never rule out a downside move, I think this is a good support at around 160 and is worth considering to be bought. What happened to that? All right, so though it is not giving a buy signal right now, it is definitely consolidating and could so you can see 160 here in the end of March. You got 160 here, so a lot like a triple bottom which is there. You've got this cluster of moving average resistances which are there on top, and if this breaks out, especially if it breaks out above 175, then you're going to get a big move to 185 and then to 210, 220. All right, okay, let's see. That is the outermost sort of downtrend line. Let me just put one as extreme as I can. If this breaks out, right, so 160 is good support, and if it breaks out, I definitely would recommend buying it, especially if that breakout happens on good volumes. Right, okay. Then we have so Crompton Greaves. Let me put that here. Cummins India. So that's gone off and made a new life high. Again, consolidating as you can see. Uh, this is a weekly chart. Okay. So 600 breakout happened. It's gone to close to 925. Probably. Okay. Just wondering if there's anything on the volume side. Really nothing much to say. This is, in my opinion, itching to go up. And once it breaks 925,000, of course, could be some sort of a psychological mark, and that is something you're going to have to watch out for. But once that gets cleared off, then much higher levels on this are possible. It's not really a flag, but again, in terms of getting a potential target, this is 700 to 900. I would say 1100 would be the next potential target. Is it set to break out? Tough to say. Right? It could be doing that. Okay, so let's put Cummins India. And we have Dabur. Uh, so another stock at its life high. I think we should just make Nifty Junior a default set to look at and forget about the Nifty stocks. A lot of movement here, as you can see. Uh, okay, so that is the trend line. Just put it off. Sorry, for it to go off into the future. So Dabur 100 rupee stock 2012 is now 300 rupee stock almost, and right now consolidating for 4 months. Once 285 breaks out, then well, that was a good buy at around 250 psychological number, and just shy of that the stock bounces off. So sideways consolidation for 4 months in a 35 rupee band. Volume also, yeah, low volumes. And in the last 2 weeks, you can see good volumes whenever it has gone up. So this is another one which is itching to go up, in my opinion. Okay. Then we have Divi's Labs. Hmm. Sideways, so really nothing to say. But again, this has also been a multi-bagger. So again, want you to notice, because we saw a lot of stocks at 1500, if you remember. Uh, in the first few stocks, don't remember the names, but 1500 came, psychological mark, consolidated for 2 months, and then just shot off and went from 1500 to 1800 in 1 month, in 2 months actually. Yeah, 6 weeks. That's and then it just consolidates again. So this is what I mean by, looking at those stocks at psychological marks and then waiting for them to break out. Put an alert or an SLTP order and just jump in as that happens. Okay, then Aisha Motors. So God only knows where this is going. I don't know if you've seen the new Aisha vehicle that was launched. It's called the Multex. Very innovative vehicle. Opens a whole new segment. It is a people mover plus a luggage carrier with independent suspension on all four wheels, and it can also work as a power generator for up to 3000 watts. Right? It's got this attachment to the engine, and it works. Very, very modular, very sturdy build. Not so much for the urban use, but there is no vehicle like that, and the capacity is 5000 units per month, which can be scaled to 10,000 units. It's going to be launched next month, and this could be a big move for Eicher Motors. It's just a stock that has, gone from 300 rupees to 20,000 rupees in 5 years. Uh, some stocks will always leave you with a bad memory for the rest of your life. This is one of them for me, because we talked about this in an EQNS 2-3 years back, when somebody who knew about iShare buying out Bullet, and then we had a review of that, and then the news about iShares joint venture with Volvo came out, which, by the way, Volvo sold its stake in iShare recently, and then that stock just went up. So don't ignore anything. Even something which is well established can do something. Of course, it's exception, but uh, lessons to learn. And who knows, once the stock goes beyond 20,000, I think this is a stock which could even go to 25 or 30,000. That company is really, really coming up with some new innovative stuff. So definitely no selling on this. Buy at every dip and hold on. Once 20,000 goes, then I think in jumps of 100, 200, keep going up. Tough to say what the target is, since it's at its life high right now. Okay.
Musa, similarly, there is a talk with TVS is collaborating with BMW.
TVS collaboration with BMW is actually not a new news. It's been there, and TVS is supposed to come out with, or rather, TVS is going to manufacture BMW bikes for the India market, and there's rumors that it could also get exported. And I think that's the cheapest BMW two-wheeler that BMW has created in the world. It's undergoing testing right now in Germany, and once that launch happens, who knows? If you've looked at how there's been an amazing sales of things like the Duke vehicles, which are owned, I think, by Bajaj, and how many Harley Davidsons are being bought, then it will not be a surprise if this BMW two-wheeler, if priced at a good price, could actually be a big thing for TVS. So yeah, TVS could also be a stock that could Really, it's already less than, yeah, put it up. TVS Motors, right? So TVS Motors, all right. So went to uh, is it TVS Motors or yeah, right? So went to 320 and it's come back to its old life high. Very nice place, I think, to buy it. Uh, so it is a double bottom here at 215, 220. It's not gone up with good volumes. That is unfortunate, right? Uh, there was good volumes when it was going up. Went to a place, cooled off, and those are willing to take the risk. I think it's worth buying it here. You've got to move from 220 to 245, a sideways correction. Only the lack of volume is a concern. Um, and if you have any timeline on when this TVS bike, sorry, the BMW bike could be launched, then that would maybe be a kicker for the stock. You never know, right? So yeah, definitely worth looking at. I think this is also, is this not part of TVS is not part of Nifty Junior. All right. Okay. So thanks for bringing that up, Srinivas. Okay. So next is Exide Industries. Okay. So Exide has been consolidating for 4 or 5 years now. And after doing that consolidation for 4 years, attempted a breakout end of last year, went from 180 to 200, has not really been able to stay up, has come back to more or less test this level of 150, and I would say it's done a decent job of that. Let's look at volumes. All right, so you can see that in the whole of May, the whole down move was on pretty low volumes after a move down here. And well, 1 second. I think we have a T6. Yes, you have a divergence which could also be on the weekly charts. No, it's not there. It's too short. All right, so there is a bullish divergence on the stock, and well, if you have faith in divergences, you could buy it. 150, good support. Very unlikely that it's going to break below. There's a nice stop loss here at around 147, 146. It's 152. There's a huge cluster of supports here. Good resistance at 157 and then at 165. Um, and patience would be the key thing here, I think. Um, if it cannot break 165, it could easily come back down. But if it does break 165, then 175, and for all you know, 200 rupees on the way up. Right. So this is a stock which is consolidated. That's the thing. And the consolidation zone is between 100 to, I would say, at a very conservative level, 150. Breakout happened, as you can see, from 150 it went to 200. It's come back to test, so this is no longer relevant, this consolidation. But looks like it's a good opportunity to buy. Okay, so then we have Federal Bank. So that's, well, gone up back to its life high. And I think this time it's going to break out, I would say, next week. Look at the volumes here on this very handsome volumes. Once 150 goes, then 155, and again consolidating between 135 and 155, 20 rupees. 175 is the next target, which is about a 15% move. That would be great, and for all you know, this is going even higher. Okay, so we've got some good buys, right? So okay, fine. No time to write everything. Glaxo. So that's at a life high or close to that. Crazy stock, or rather not crazy stock, crazy chart. Would be a little difficult to interpret this chart. You had a huge gap up here, right? Or there was some, I think, buyback news or something like that. And Let's see if we can get that. Yeah, you can see that huge gap here, that to an up gap from 2,500 to 3,000 just in 1 week or 1 day, and then just closed that gap with another swift move down. Went to 2,500, consolidated there for several months, and after doing that, it has just shot up in 1 week from 2,500 to 2,700, and then now to 3,300. Stocks like these, it's best to keep, if one can, the big picture in one's mind. Very difficult to put them on paper. You can see this on the daily chart. So actually in 3 days, 4 days, it closed the gap from 3,100 to 2,500, and after that, look at that, 4 or 5 months of consolidation and just takes off, right? These sort of moves that happen months back, we tend to forget about them months later. But if you can somehow find a way of tracking and managing that, then these are the sort of rewards you can also get. My view on Glaxo right now is to stay away. It's consolidating from the whole of this year between 3.1 and 3.450. Let it break out or break down, and then we'll take a call. Otherwise, leave it. Glenmark. Okay. So you have Glenmark that broke its life high of 2008 sometime in 2014, and you can see how it, after breaking, did a test of that at 700, and now it is a 1,000 rupee stock. That's almost a 50% move, right? So this is what happens when important life highs sort of break out. And it's very this is a mid cap pharma stock. Pharma has been doing well. I would think that this would probably know, keep going up. 1,000, all these stocks which tend to be 3-digit stocks, or prices in 3 digits, come to 1,000, they tend to stall or halt there for a while. It's like as though the market needs to get used to it being a 4-digit stock now. You can see good volumes last week, sideways consolidation. This is like a flag. It should actually show up in a flag report. I don't know whether it does. And 870 to 1,000, that's 130 bucks, and 1,130 would be the next target. So this is really a good find. Then Godrej, you have consumer products, right? So this Godrej property, wow, look at that. So this has gone from 145 to 1,000. You can see how, okay, good lessons here actually. How the stock sort of again stalled at 1,000 for some time as it came close to that roundabout number. That's just how human beings tend to be. So broke out to 1,100, came down to 850, and then has sort of consolidated. And oh, this is a very unusual pattern to get. As a matter of fact, I need to go and read about it. First time I have actually seen one so clear cut. Seen a lot in the books or being mentioned in the books, but it's different to see. It's of course not textbook classic. This is like a diamond, right? And that would be the breakout that happened today in this stock. So you have a broadening formation in the beginning, and then you've got a sort of triangle at the end. Alright, let's make it accurate so it looks nice. This is interesting for sure. And breakout happened on volumes. Yes, it did. And definitely, I think this is headed for higher levels. 1,230. Please read up about diamond patterns and what they could mean. It's first one I've actually seen. This is very, very unusual. I would say 1500. I need to make a note of this for that diamond. Diamond in Godrej Consumer Products. Okay. Thank you, Srinivas, for saying let's do Nifty Junior. Okay, Godrej, then GSK Consumer Products. So 6,500 stock. Again, more a psychological number, but has definitely halted there for now and done rounding formation shy of that at around 6,400. Amazing how the markets work. You would think that people are intentionally actually selling there. So obviously that's what they're doing. Otherwise, how would you get that sort of a pattern? And you've got 6,000 to worry about. All right, so let's put a line at 6,000. Okay, and we'll have to see how it breaks. Will it break down or not? Today's red candle is, well, on poor volumes, but ominous nevertheless. For a person with a strong heart, I would say buy it on Monday with a stop loss below 6925, and all going well, the support holds, and be patient 6,200 and maybe even 6,400 in about a month, I would say, right? And once that breakout happens from 6,400, then, well, really tough to say where all this could go. Okay. Just putting lines for future reference. All right. Yeah, goodbye. 6,000 Godrej Consumer Products. Hindustan Petro. So that is been making new life highs. However, looks like now 750 is a place it's getting tired of in the short term. You can see doji there, red candle, higher upper shadows. Those are not good signs. And you've got falling volume, right? And you can also see here that in the last part of it moving from say 600 to 750 is happening on declining volume. So there is a little less interest at this point. Doesn't mean it will not go up, but I would definitely put a stop loss if I was having a position. And from a trading perspective, I put a stop loss below 720, but from an investing perspective, I probably put it only below 690, right? So it depends on whether you're a trader or investor. You've got to take a call on that. Okay, I think the trend line, if any, would also get broken. Yep, just shy of breaking, but this would be a trader's trend line. Okay, not so much a investor's trend line. And any correction on this, I think, should be used to um, buy, especially if it comes to around 650. Okay, then India Bulls, housing finance. Whoa! So again, showing how long back we might have seen this chart. It was at 425. It's now gone to 650. Good support at around 540. and very impressive volumes today. Consolidation clearly happening. You can see the lower volumes in the beginning here, middle of Jan 2015. It went up nicely on good volumes. Consolidation going sideways on low volumes, and then again the sub move on high volumes, right? So 640 is the level to watch out for, and once 640 breaks, then even if you take this 100 rupees, 740 could be 740, 750 could be the next target on yeah. Okay, so that is then Infratel. Ha. So this has just gone to 500 bucks and is still showing a strong trend, but of late showing signs of fatigue. And today's red candle is very uh, definitely not good, right? Okay. Wow. But no volume. So what happened? Tough to say. 1.39 million. The average is 1.8 million. Okay, might be just some sentimental thing, some news thing. It's not accompanied by selling, that's for sure. Uh, okay, just watch, do nothing with Intratel. Good support at 380, those sort of prices. Okay. JSW Steel. So remember, metal index was showing some sort of strength. Okay, so JSW Steel triple top 1400. Now come to another multi-year support zone in that area, as you can see. Okay, all right, 650 thereabouts. That's where that support is. From 640, it has jumped to, sorry, 840. Yeah, something wrong with my eyes. Yeah, 840. Sorry, not 640. 840. And then one second, I want to look at volumes. Okay. Can you see the really low volumes here, right? In the whole of 2014 to now, relatively speaking, the volumes are so less compared to the volumes in 2012 and 2013. So this down move has not happened with high volumes at all. And on a weekly chart, as a matter of fact, you do have, let me just, you do have 34, 33, 33, right? You do have a bullish divergence, so I am going to put a buy here. Weekly bullish divergence, multi-year support. This will require definitely some patience. Don't be in a hurry. You could also get beaten down as the stocks hit their trend lines, and then I'm just going to put an extreme one here. Right, so it's really not broken out of the trend line, and one can always debate where it should be, but there we are. And if it can break out of that, then voila, above 900 it's all set to go. I think around this price, 840, it's very unlikely to break. This is a multi-year support. Alright, so as you can see, this support resistance comes back all the way from 2007 and then again in 2010. So this is like almost a 10-year support resistance, and this will really be interesting to follow up, at least academically, if nothing else. Okay. Then LIC Housing Finance. Ho ho! 400 to 460, a 15% move that just happened. Again, can you see the divergence here? MACD goes flat. This one keeps going down. You can never say when it starts to, just bounce up, but it does. It even breaks the 200-day moving average, even goes below 400. And then it uh, just bounces up and off it goes up, right? So 400 to 450. Again, please remember, I think what was that, Britannia, or what did we see? You had a move. This is a consolidation from 500 to 400. Let's look at the volumes. Um, right, so move here. This fall. Right, so let me bring that cursor up. So this fall clearly happening on lower volumes. Okay, this fall happening on lower volumes. Okay, so this is definitely another good buy. Right, and recently the volumes have picked up. It's like a flag from 400 to 460. That's 60 rupees. I would say from say 440, if it comes down to that, would be a good opportunity to get in. And 440 plus 460 is 500, takes it to its life high basically. And 500 breaks out, then who knows where this could go. So this is another one that I would LIC Housing Finance. All right. So M&M Finance, Mahindra and Mahindra Finance. Okay. Well, you can make a very quick decision about this, and the decision is do nothing. Right? Simple. It's been consolidating, and it's tough to make money in a consolidating market. You can see 250. It's not really support, but still, it's a point around which it has been sort of gyrating. Okay, so 250 if it comes down to, that's when you should be buying M&M Finance. And sideways consolidation for almost 2 years, more than that. Yeah, 2 years, and maybe it will break 320 this time. So 240 to 320, that is what, 80 bucks? Wow, 80 rupees. 400 could be the next target on this once the breakout happens on this stock. All right, so you're looking at M&M Finance, and yep, there was a big fall here on some, I don't know what, but that has held so far. Not a very convincing volume, I would say, compared to this falling volume, but all said and done, still looking technically good, right? Worth buying. Then we have McDowell. Mm, okay, so this has gone up to 4,000 and then just come down from that. Nothing much to do, and wait for this to actually settle down. 3282, but looks like it's going to break actually, rather than But the 3250, good important 200-day moving average right there. You have that level there to consider. Maybe a good place to buy. Volumes, well, clearly low volumes on its this part, but volumes have picked up a bit. Tough call. You could take a chance with this uh, and keep a tight stop loss below 3,200. It could be. On the other hand, just a alternative view. You have maybe seen better in weekly. You can see the rounding pattern very clearly. A left shoulder here, a head here with a sort of double top, and a right shoulder. So the measuring implication of this would at least be from 3.3 to, let's say, 3.9, 600 bucks. So 3.3, 600 bucks goes, you're talking about 2,700 as a potential target. Before that, of course, you have, yeah, this is 2,850. That would be the first place, and then after that, that's another level to watch out for. Okay. So no buying, could be a fall in the making with the head and shoulder top. So watch for how that neckline behaves, and then good stock to potentially short. All right. Motherson Sumi. So this is a stock we in the mentorship program have been tracking for a good part of the year now. So it's gone up from around 300 when we were looking at it middle of last year to 500 and gone sideways, and looks like it is set to break out. But yep, volumes are also there. Last 2 days could be a breakout candidate. Yeah, definitely. And if 500 breaks, then well, really don't know where it could go to next, right? Okay, so that is Motherson Sumi, then MRF. So this is a stock which is at 32,000 rupees. Most of us would probably not buy it. So 42,000 rupees, what was its peak? Right. It's come to support. As you can see, 32 was here for 2 years. So 2 months. An important move after being at 24,500 for 3 months. It just took off again, and in 2 weeks it went from 25, 24 to 33. So this is the whole thing about being vigilant and being sharp. You either buy something and hold on to it if you have long-term conviction about the stock, or you have to be really really sharp, because if you miss this week move in about those 10 days, then that's it. You're talking about 20% move, and then it moved from 33. You wouldn't see here the double top which is there at 42,000, which has held so far quite strongly. Volumes, it has come down on low volumes, and uh, well, okay, I thought there was a bullish divergence. There isn't actually. Okay, so but good recovery. For those of us who are willing to take risks, you could consider buying it here. Only thing, moving averages on top that are significant resistances, right? Okay, then OFSS, Oracle Financial Services Limited, something like that, right? Okay, that's where the double top or triple top, multiple top, whatever was, then it went all the way there to 4,000. Came to 3,400, and then has just been climbing up nicely. Not good volumes at all. Very, very, I think, I don't even know why this stock is in the Nifty or any index for that matter. I think the minority, the public shareholding is pretty small. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Could check. Uh, if it breaks 4,000, well, that's the time it's really, really going to go up. And I don't know, maybe some of you in the IT industry could sort of dig your contacts and see what's happening there. If anything, that's of course a business perspective, but gives you any insight, then might be something that one could buy. Right. Okay, so that is OFSS. Then Oil India Limited. Oh, this is very, very interesting. All the petrochemical stocks are going up, and why is this languishing? So almost at its life low almost. This is a big surprise. Something definitely. All right, so volumes really flat and reducing in the last 2 months. MACD has done a crossover. There seems to be quite a bit of support at this point. There is a sort of triangle. Yep, there is. Is this a breakout or a breakdown? Well, definitely a triangle. No sign of which side it might break out. Measuring implication is quite big from 450 to 500. That's almost $50. And leaving. Okay, just 1 second. And what I was saying is, well, I'm surprised as to why it's so low. Uh, so you have be good to do some sort of a fundamental analysis on this and take a view. This is a definite surprise. Okay, then what do we have? Petronet. Ah, so this is almost at its life highs. You can see how it bounced off from that support. So life high is at around 217. Bounced out from its life highs. Good support at 175. Unfortunately, not good volumes. Okay, but here's definitely something in the middle here. Volumes came really down. There's some event here, I'm guessing. Slightly higher volumes compared to these. And then now really, really bad volumes. I'm wondering what's going on. So really tough to read this. That's good support, resistance level, and it has broken that. So breakout, I would say buy this with the stop loss below 184. Be patient, and you could be seeing 200 for sure, almost. And then after 200, 210, 215, right? Okay. This is almost like a head and shoulder bottom, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And just to be a little conservative, I'll just take this as the measuring implication, which is about not even 20 rupees, just about 10 rupees. So 195, 200, next target, quite possible. Okay, Petronet, and then PFC, Power Finance Corporation. Public sector enterprise company, really, I don't think there's, okay, 250, definitely an important support. I'd say there's no hurry to buy this at all. Just leave it for now. In the future, when it breaks this trend line or it comes down to 250, which actually it may not. At 250, it's bounced off around 260. It is at 267, about 3% lower from this. Could potentially be a place to look at. So 260, 250 seems to be some sort of support. At so consolidating. Don't expect big moves on these stocks actually. Okay, RCOM, I think it did something today. Yep, RCOM big volume today. Okay, at its life low almost. This is God knows when it will go back to this 153 rupees. It is right now at 61 rupees. What destruction in price and value. Wow. But is this downtrend over is the question. I'm putting out the just at that outermost trend line. Definitely today. If you are a well, interesting. So April first week you had this big volume candle. Then you had quite a few big volume green candles here. You've got one, two here, one big one here. You had these three candles there. You had this big one here. You had this one. You have that one, and then again here. So somebody is accumulating, I think, at around this price of 57. Be good to see if there are any bulk trade deals here done on this. But clearly, I think once it breaks out of the downtrend line, then we are looking at it probably going up quite a bit. All right, even on the weekly charts, you can see the volume is on the up candles. Definitely some accumulation going on in the stock. I would say buy it if it ever comes close to 57, 58, buy it. It is at 61 right now. That's almost a 5% move today, so I doubt whether it's going to come back down in a hurry, but you never know. You saw this big move here, then in 3 days it came back almost to from 70 to 60, and I think any move down on this should perhaps be used as an opportunity to buy. Consolidation in the telecom industry, There's some talk about them buying some that MTS Sistema. No idea why. Okay, but well, okay. REC Limited. Okay. All right, I'm going to just pass on this one. There's really nothing significant to talk about it. It could be taking support, but downtrend I would say is perhaps not over. Wait and watch on this. Reliance Capital. So actually a lot of Reliance stocks, I think Anil Ambani stocks did well today. That's really good support around that zone. What destruction. So this was a 3,000 rupee stock and that has now become a 370 rupee stock. So even at 370 rupees you have a 90% destruction in wealth almost. This is some support here that it has come to. You had a faster down move here, which right now is being challenged. Hmm. Well, could be a multi-bagger going forward, but some caution on this. Good volumes pick up today. And 375 breaks, then 395, 400. And the big thing will be, will it break this downtrend line? Okay. Okay, I need to close up, so I'll move it faster now. Reliance Infra, so that's also moved up nicely. Okay, so this is also close to its multi-year support resistance level, as you can see. So another 2,500 rupee stock, which is at 386. This was your madness of the infra thing in 2007, then just came down crashing. Hopefully some sense has set in, but tough to say. And then 350. Again, question is whether this downtrend is over. As of now, definitely not. I'm just putting extreme lines because I just want to be safe and cautious on it. So 400. Wait for it to break out of this trend line and then buy it, or if it comes back to around 350, 365, we could be buying it at some really low prices, right? I mean, relatively compared to its life high, might be a value buy. I'm not sure, right? Okay. R power. Ha! Went off. Just fell off the cliff. So this is a good lesson to keep in mind. You can have things at life lows, and then suddenly they just crash even more. And well, who knows? Could this be? Just look at this big drop. Now some buying seems to be happening at around 43 rupee levels, but first green candle in many weeks and actually on good volumes. So okay, this one is a gamble. I just leave this for now. Okay, sale. Public sector companies, steel, metals, all that stuff, as we know. Could it be a good place to buy? I think that's going to be a tough one. Nope, no volumes. Nothing convincing about this. Forget about sale. Siemens. Alright, so there you have it. Making lifetime highs. So 1000 psychological mark. Mm-hmm. That is not really a triangle, but clearly consolidation, I would think. Let's look at volumes. Okay, definitely less, and probably waiting to break out of 1450 in order to make the next big move, possibly. Okay, could be looking at this for a breakout. Again, please notice how consolidation for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5, 8 months, and then 1000 rupee goes to 1400 in a matter of 2 months, right? So 45% return. You just got to either time it or hold on to it. Very difficult to play it any other way. Okay, that's Siemens, then Sriram Transport Finance. All right, so surprised that this has fallen. Must have been some news here. Yep, probably some bad result or something. Be good to go read it up and find out what happened. But you have a double bottom at 800, a sort of flag from 800 to 900, and another 100 rupee move could take it to 1000 rupees. So yep, uptick here. But good to know what happened here in early May. Uh, Probably results, but very strong bullish divergence, I must say, on it's not actually a bullish divergence, but still indicators are showing a lot of strength. And yep, 1000 rupees looking very likely on this. And Tata Chem. Alright, I think I just move on with this because this is interesting. Hold on. Tata Chem triple top, right? and monsoons are happening. It'd be interesting to know. Is this setting up for a big breakout from the triple top? Is the question. If it is, then this stock could easily go to $1,000 in, who knows, by the end of this year. That's 100% return. I would say anything at around 400 rupees. As it comes down lower, you could think about buying it. There's been some fantastic buying last year, May, June, July, August. It's now coming down on lower volumes and might be settling down. Too early. It's early days, but yes, there could definitely be some buying interest. I'd love to have fundamentals on this. Okay, 410 as a trader, you could look at buying it with a stop loss below 405. Unlikely to, I think, break down. More likely that it would break out is my expectation and my call. And of course, I could be drastically wrong on that. That is your life high. So there was an attempt to, sort of break this feeble, I would say. And now you can see how the volume was so well in 2014, 2015 correction. Maybe the second half of 2015 could be the next leg up for this, but it's early days yet. Okay, Tata Global. 130, sort of good support, but I'd say just leave it. I think we've got some much better opportunities to look at. It's too erratic, too sideways. Titan. Hmm. Okay, give this a pass. No compelling hurry on this. UBL, wow. So made a big move, made a new life high, but not able to contain it. Again, this becomes a, 4-digit stock, unable to stay that way, comes back down, and may not be a buying opportunity, but you have a hammer. I think it's way too premature. What I noticed was this moving average again, sorry, MACD again on the weekly chart. Not really, I would say there is some support, but it's weak, and I would wait for maybe it coming to a support level or crossing 1,000 and then look at buying it. Okay. Having said that, no, the one thing there's a bullish divergence, there isn't. UBL, then Union Bank coming to the last two. Public sector banks, well, forget about them. Yeah, when you get something like a public sector bank, which is just basically a vanilla product, and any one when you bank is like any other bank, there's really not much need to look at multiple stocks. Just look at a few in that and save your time. So again, at an important support level, I think like the other of others, but if it breaks, like I think something did Canara Bank or something, then it could come down to 114. It's at 153. So well, we might just want to stay away from it right now, but it could be a good shorting candidate if the markets turn weak. And finally UPL, United Phosphorus. So that's really been, well, 200 rupees stock. Notice again 2007 peak, 2010 peak, little bit of drama around it in in 2014, and uh, consolidated, then just shot up from 200 to 300 in 1 month, and then steadily has been going all the way to 559. 500 is a psychological mark at this point. For now, looks like this move is still strong and is likely to head up to at least 600 for now, which is not much of a target, I know. Uh, was that trend line, and once it keeps going beyond, it's like done a consolidation. Unfortunately, volumes are pathetic. Some sort of a consolidation. Once it breaks out of that, then 600 and then much higher levels. Right. Okay, so let me close the day. So I think moral of the story is look at Nifty Junior a lot more, look at the non-index stocks a lot more. There's definitely a lot of activity there if you're looking for creating a spot portfolio. Not so good for trading if you're doing an FNO thing. And yeah, that's it. The recording will be up hopefully by tomorrow afternoon. Not much of notes this time, I'm sorry about that, and I will send this anyhow. And just to explain, for those of you who've been on IMRs, little low on energy in the evenings right now because of the fasting, so that's probably how it will be for the next 3 weeks, and then hopefully there should be some more pep back in the sessions, right? Okay, so thank you for your participation and look forward to your feedback. Have a great weekend and make some more money next week. Good night or good morning whenever you're watching it later. Bye.